Hello, I'm Sally Earlham and I've just put together this brief video which introduces you to mindful reflexology and shows you what's included in it, because this isn't about being a mindfulness practitioner. It's about everything that we can do as reflexologists to help support clients who are living with stress, anxiety and depression. So it's about changing our techniques, our reflexology techniques, and also us being a mindful reflexologist. The sorts of things that we cover in the course is we look at anatomy and physiology for stress, anxiety and depression, and actually they're fairly similar because that helps leads on to the techniques that we're going to use, because we're very much going to be working with the physiology of what's going on with the body. We look at touch and adapting our reflexology. We look at intention, and we actually look at some of the studies, research studies that have been done, which actually show that intention does make a difference to outcomes. So it's really important. We look at hope because, again, this can improve outcomes if we can offer a little hope to our clients. We look at the holistic approach. This isn't, with all reflexology, it's not that we can press one button and everything miraculously gets better. They are probably going to, when they feel able, to take on some small lifestyle changes. And we have a look at some of those. There's a huge amount out there. And then we look at retraining the brain, which is where mindfulness comes in. That's one of the techniques that can be used to help retrain the brain, some very simple, quick techniques that can be used. Also, we look at positive psychology, which is, I think, fascinating. And it acknowledges that we are built to look for the negative because that comes from survival. Our brain is looking for danger. But actually, that in modern living, again, can remain the same. We look for the negatives. So you can actually retrain your brain by teaching yourself to look for positives, retrain the brain so it will actually start to focus on the positives rather than the negatives. So that's a flavour of the theory that's covered. With the practical techniques, there are additional opening and closing moves, and the rest of these can be incorporated into your normal sequence. We have a calming sequence, which is the way I then start my reflexology treatments. We look at additional work for the head, including the vagus nerve, limbic system, meridians. We have additional spine work, and we do 3 projections for this, including up the leg. We've got different techniques for chest reflex, because that's somewhere where people often hold all their stress and tension. And then an endocrine balance, which is the perfect way for ending all of your treatments. This course is presented as an online course. It is equivalent to a one-day course. And the modules are all pre-recorded in short modules. And what this means is you can start when you want, you can complete the work when you want, and you've got 18 months to complete it. There are 17 theory modules, and these are all PowerPoint presentations, very much in the format that you've got here. So the slides with me talking in the corner, talking it through them, and then some simple multiple choice questions, just so I can check your understanding. Practical videos to follow. So these are all focused quite close in, so you can really see what needs to be done, how the techniques work. There's also a manual that you can download, which has got words and images to guide you as well. And those practical videos, you can watch as many times as you want. You then practice on friends and family, and when you feel ready, you book in for a Zoom tutorial. Now, these tutorials are very much tutorials. It's to check that you've got the positioning correct. It's time for you to ask about anything that you're not sure about and any theory questions as well. So very much run in a supportive manner. And then once you've completed the Zoom, you are emailed your certificate and also an electronic badge for your website, social media, however you want to run it, use it. And just a sort of couple of ideas of the sort of ideas that we cover. We look at working the feet, and I do think as reflexologists, we need to be mindful about what we're doing. Remember that when we're working, we're putting vibrations which will be transmitted throughout the whole body via our connective tissue, via our fascia. So I think I often see reflexologists who always work very quickly, who always work very slowly. But I think we need to think about what we want to be doing in the body. So if we're aiming to calm, we're going to slow our impulses down and set our intention. If we want to stimulate, such as with depression, we're going to be using faster impulses. So do think about the techniques you're using and what you're trying to achieve. Pressure's also an interesting one. And people often say, do you often work much gentler with anxiety and stress? And my answer, I know this will split the room, is no. I very much work to the client's preference. And sometimes you almost need to wake a reflex up. And you'll often see this with depression or low mood, is they don't feel anything on the feet. They're not grounded. We need them to bring them back down to earth, get that connection running through their body. So sometimes we need to wake a reflex up for them to be able to move forward. The other thing I want to share, and I think this is good for all reflexology, and I think it's fun, it's good for us, it's good for our clients, but we need to be creative and not get stuck in a rut, because again, they have shown that change actually will improve outcomes. Clients shouldn't come in expecting you to be sat in the same seat, do everything in the same order, do exactly the same sequence, because actually repetitive experiences can lose their capacity to help change and growth. So think about it. Think about changing your sequence up, the way you ask questions. Where do you do your talk within your treatment therapy hour? Move your room about, play a bit. And that ties into my last point here about serious playfulness. And this is a reflective practice model from Bolton. And she says that for us to progress and grow, we need to be seriously playful, serious playfulness. And what that means is, think about the physiology, think about what you're trying to do. Are you trying to calm? Are you trying to stimulate? Think about a technique that you think may work and play with it. Give it a try. So you think, then practice, play, and then reflect on it. So I hope that's something that you might take through into your everyday practice. So to be a mindful reflexologist, we need to set our intention, trust our intuition. We need to think about touch, working the feet and relating that to physiology. We need lifestyle advice that we can offer and consider retraining the brain. And these are all things that are covered in the course. If you would like to know more about the course, you can get more information on my website, sallyearlham.co.uk. And the other thing you might want to do, if you haven't already done so, is you can actually register for a free account on my website. And you just go to the top right hand corner and click online login, and then just register for a free account. You then get access to 2 free mini modules, one on touch and one on headaches and migraines. And it gives you a better idea really of how the training runs. If you've got any questions, of course, reach out, drop me a line, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thank you.